So here we are, October 2009. It's now 6 months since the smashing operation which I did inside the house, and we have replaced the broken picture on the wall with a nice new one. That's that one there. Move a little bit either way just in case there's any reflection. And Lita decided, instead of replacing the glass shelves, they were rather difficult to clean. Someone had to get up on a ladder, hand down all of the things off the shelves, dust it, and then put all the stuff back. So she decided to replace the shelves with these shell pictures. There we are, nice shell pictures. 1, 2, 3. Now, just to continue the story, because this originally started off as an entertainment DVD with me dancing around and singing, it's really turned out into more of a video diary. So Lita is now going to be the camera operator. She's going to place it in position on here and make sure that I'm in the correct place to do my talking. Is that okay like that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so how did we get to this? How did I get to such a state where I started smashing the house up? Well, it was a build-up of anger, frustration, resentment. And the medication was not helping. It was useless. It was making it worse to see a psychiatrist. And if you see a psychiatrist, you're obliged to take their medication. So what I decided in April was to stop taking the medication. I believe that I've got better since then. I certainly haven't been so angry. There is a long history to this. I have returned to periods of depression now, and that is something that I've suffered from since the age of 16 or so. People say that there is the roots of this are in childhood, which is strange to me because I had a very happy childhood. My brother and I were both happy in a family with loving parents, and I had friends at school. I had friends that I could see Fridays and Saturdays outside school. The only unusual thing was that my father was quite old when I was born. He was 52. And that made me feel a little bit strange that my father was old, and he was a rather distant authoritarian figure. But it didn't really cause any serious problems, except at the age of 12 when I ran away from home because he got very angry with me. Once my mum went out to one of her social events, and Dad took the opportunity to charge into my room and say, "This room is a terrible mess, clean it up," you know, and he swept his hand across my art homework that I'd been so carefully doing, and he spilt the water over my art homework and made a complete mess of it. So I was so angry that about 7:30 in the evening, I got on my bike and cycled to Hereford, which is about 15 or 16 miles away. And of course it did get rather cold, so I can remember watching Z-Cars through the windows of one of the TV shops, and thinking, oh, I wish I was at home watching Z-Cars, really. And of course I turned back, and the police apprehended me at Peterstow, a couple of miles outside Ross-on-Wye, my hometown, and they helped me to park my bike and took me home in the police car, and my mum was there in a very worried state, and for the next few days my dad didn't speak to anybody. He was scowling because he was the cause of it. Anyway, apart from that, I was a happy boy at school and a little bit introverted. I didn't like football, like a lot of kids enjoyed football. But I enjoyed rock music, and I loved music. And things went very well for me academically. I was always in the top 10 of the class of 30 in A stream at a grammar school, which means you're pretty bright. But then I could sense that I was becoming more and more introverted and inward-looking and moody. And when I was about the age of 15, I started waking up in the middle of the night and writing poetry. And one of them was a parody of the Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The other one was a premonition of my own death, and it was an allegory, really. The title was The Bridge. I don't have the actual text anymore, but it was an allegory of being on one side of the bridge, where representing childhood, and over the other side of the bridge representing adulthood, and of course running underneath the bridge was a river, and I could sense that I was somehow not quite making that transition. And in fact, when I stepped onto the bridge crumbled and collapsed, and I fell into the river and drowned. And I can remember the last words of the poem: now I am under, now I am over. So really that was a premonition of things that would happen, because the results of my O-levels, which were the exams that you take at age 16, were disappointing. I expected to pass all 8 subjects with flying colours, and I only got 5 out of 8. I was very disappointed. I went on into the 6th form, which is the next stage, what they call high school in America and the Philippines. And my subjects were maths and geography, and I experienced a disintegration of my mental faculties, a worsening of my mood. I became a very melancholy, withdrawn boy, and I could not cope with the subjects. In those days, there was no such thing as pocket calculators. You had something which you call a slide rule to use in maths for doing complicated calculations, and everybody in the class managed to learn it except for me. It was a total humiliation. My dear friend Alan Snowball, that was his family name, Snowball, sat next to me and he tried to help me, but it was hopeless. And, you know, my parents said, well, maybe you've got to see the careers advisor and see what your options are. At this stage, I think we'll shut down and do another 10 minutes. Actually, part of this movie, I uploaded it onto YouTube, and under the name Bipolar Bert, and it has been viewed by 78 people. Initially it was given a 1 star out of 5 rating, but somebody has increased it to 2.5 stars. Anyway, I may well upload the rest of my life story onto YouTube, so we're going to cut the movie here. Okay, sweetheart, you can switch off now.